What's everybody? It's time for another episode of Talking with Topher. This is episode 284. It's September 11th, 2025. And as always, I am so thankful to be alive. Man, I can't believe it's September 11th. What is this, 21 years? But before I get into any of that, let me start out the way I always do, by saying thank you to all of my subscribers out there. You're the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, remember to subscribe. And of course, you want to tell your story, be a guest on the podcast, talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. It's the official email of the podcast. Send an audio, video, or type it out. And don't forget about that link tree. It's in the description below the video, along with the mailbox guys link on Facebook. And of course, don't forget about Cryptid and Kin on Instagram, all located underneath in the description below. Go, click, follow, and get your mailbox installed today. Now with all that out of the way, let's get into today's podcast, everybody. Holy crap, everybody. It has been 24 years, my correction, 24 years, not 21, since the towers blew up. All right. I've got some footage here. Obviously, we've got to dig into it immediately. I'm really starting to believe that there was no planes that flew into any of our buildings. Wait till you see this doctored footage. Now, always going to throw it out there that this could have been doctored up, but people are taking the original footage and they're looking at it a lot more closely today than we ever have, especially with the technology that we have today to look at things even more closely. And now with AI being as advanced as it is today, we now have checks in place to verify whether or not it was AI generated or original footage. So now we're using this AI generated programming to distinguish human from AI to go through videos that have never been looked at this deeply before, right? So check this out. It is wild, everybody. And this is why I keep saying that I am having a real hard time believing that we always need to look at what they're telling us and see if it actually fits what happened. If you watch this video, though, you're going to see something crazy here. Check this out. In the late 90s, the military had already tested advanced holographic projection systems capable of projecting 3D images in the sky. It's called Project Bluebeam. The plan uses holograms for deception on mass scale. By 2001, the tech was real. What better way to sell the story than projecting planes that never existed while explosives inside the towers did the real jobs? Now, look, I've gone over this a whole bunch of times. Now they're talking about a fifth plane. We've seen earlier footage where people are saying, I didn't see a plane. I heard an explosion. The elevator opened. I heard an explosion. Things exploded. No planes were seen during the time of this attack. Could it be possible that they had Bluebeam ready? And instead of hologramming an alien invasion, they decided to hologram airplanes. Take a look, man. You take a look. You tell me.
But the second impossibility is in plain sight. In fact, I can't believe it took me over 12 years to see. Let me show you a still of this video. I've highlighted a building that's clearly behind the South World Trade Center tower.
Watch the
Yet
wing.
when we pay close attention to the video, Flight 175's wing should appear in front of the building, not behind it. This is a layering CGI glitch, and this proves that this video, which was seen all over the world, over and over and over again, year after year, is a CGI rendering. Thus, it's not an amateur witness video. It's a fake. And this is one of many, many faked videos put out by the news media.
Dude, that gives me absolute goosebumps, man. If they actually use Project Bluebeam to make us think that we were being attacked, and we already know that the war that we got into because of that was not for weapons of mass destruction. It was for poppy fields and opium and control over drug trade and, I don't know, to hide the Nephilim, right? To extinguish a possible past that could disrupt their narrative and change everything for all of us. So this was all planned all along. This was the goal to get us to where we are today. It all worked. Everything worked. I know that the definition of being insane is to do the same thing over and over and over again and expect a different result. But the problem with that is that they can also use it for manipulation and control, because if you keep doing it over and over and over again, you wear people out, and then they just fold and they follow. I'm just hoping there's more of us out there that can withstand the constant batter of them trying to do it over and over and over again. And we just, instead of getting tired of it, we get angry about it. And if we get angry about it, we won't get tired of it. And if we don't get tired, we don't fall in line. So I don't think we need to accept what they're telling us. I don't think we need to believe what they're telling us. But I think we should use what they're telling us as fuel to get us fired up and ask as many questions as possible, because I need to go through some of this stuff. I don't have the technology or the time to do it, but we all need to be going through this. If you don't believe that this is true, go find the original footage and send me the video of that wing being in front of that building. Because if it's not in front of that building, we have a major, major issue here. Why? Because that means it's fake. There was no plane. Right? There probably was a first plane. Those were sacrifices. But everything after that, I don't believe was a plane. I don't believe that the pilots on that plane, got the training that they got and were the people that they said they were. I don't think the things on the plane happened the way that they try to tell us. And now I'm starting to believe that they doctored the black box. How easy would it be for them to change the audio? How easy would all of this be? And how easy was all of this back then? 24 years ago, everybody. Think about it. It was very easy for them to do all of this. Just the possibility alone is pretty real. So if the possibility of it being real is there, Why do so many people want to turn a blind eye and just believe what they're telling us? I'm not sure. It's probably the same people that left me a comment that I supposedly went to school with, that told me I had no right to talk about autism because I don't have a PhD. You sound just like the same person that said that anybody who doesn't visit Gaza can't talk about Gaza. What are you talking about? That's crazy. You want to know what allows me to have an opinion? This right here. That's it. My voice, my camera, my microphone, my YouTube channel. I don't give a shit what anybody thinks. But I'm not going to silence myself because you think I need a PhD to talk about autism. Hey, check this out. A disease is a disease, right? A disease is something that I believe changes a person for the worst. It's an illness. Now, are all illnesses bad? No. Do I think autism is a terrible thing? No. I think some people with autism are extremely amazing. I'm not saying that those people need to change their ways. When you turn something that should hinder you into something that strengthens you, that's what this podcast has been about since the beginning. I love that. But there are cases of autism out there that retard people, right? Hold them back. Don't allow them to get things done, or they don't even get to live a normal life. What if there was a way to correct that? I'm not saying all autism's bad. I'm not saying I know anything about autism. But if people are pointing out things that have possibilities of changing people's lives from a disease that hinders their life and or retards it, shouldn't that just be a discussion in the first place, whether you have a PhD or not? And it wasn't just one video of a dude and one video of a girl. There's hundreds of fucking videos out there, and there's thousands of people with children that are trying to make a better life for their children. What's wrong with that? I don't need a PhD. You need to shut the fuck up and sit in your lane. Or maybe you can come on here and have a discussion, because if you have a PhD, maybe I can learn something from you. All you got to do is send an email. You'll be a guest. But don't tell me that I'm not allowed to have an opinion because I don't have a PhD. That's bullshit, and you know it. But I do appreciate the comment, always. Please keep sending more. And as long as people are unhappy with what's going on in their life or their children's life, we're always going to be looking for an answer to make those lives better. It all starts with discussion. It all starts with options. It all starts with something that may not be real, which then turns into something real. Why? Because we talk about it, we have ideas about it, and then somebody else with enough money and manpower behind them can actually put something into the works and make something that could actually help thousands of people out there. I don't think that's a bad thing, and I don't think we need a PhD to talk about it. I'm sorry. I think that's the wrong way to think about things, and I think that's very closed-minded. And if we all have closed minds like that, well, then you are the sheep. You are the person that is going to destroy us all because you give in. You give in to every narrative. You agree with everything that they're saying, and you think they're right and what they say is true. And I don't believe autism is this thing that people have to have that can't be turned around. That would be crazy. That's like me saying that cancer can't be turned around. Yeah, we have lots of cancers. We have some cancers that you get and it's final. But they're working on turnarounds for that. I don't think they should be using the mRNA vaccination for it because I think that thing is dangerous. So I'm glad they put an end to that. We shouldn't be using those. And people who are not getting vaccinated at all, you're crazy and you are bringing massive problems to the world. Yeah, because things are going to come back that we eradicated, and you're going to be very sad that it happened. And that's when you're going to realize you made the wrong decision. But you made the wrong decision based off of information, believing that all vaccinations are bad. That's what they want you to believe. They want plagues. They want death. They want diseases that can't be stopped to come back. Why? Because if you do it yourself, they don't have to unleash another COVID. This is exactly what they want. It's always exactly what they want. Less of us. All right, here we go. Breaking news, everybody. Chinese businessman Zhong Shashivan, I don't know if I said that right, purchases $67 million worth of land in New Hampshire, directly connected to the state's water supply. Shashivan paid 4 times the assessed value. Now, I'll click over so you can see this. It's a Pawtucket water facility in Nashua, New Hampshire. He purchased the site nearby FAA control and defense zone. Dude, this is what I've been talking about here, and I'm going to try and be as quick as I can. But no, we don't sell our water facility to someone in China. No, we don't do this, everybody. This is crazy. Now, I do believe this is being blocked. It's being stopped. It's being discussed. And I think we are going to deny this sale. Whatever allowed this sale to become something in the first place is mind-blowing. It's crazy town. We need to put an end to this. I'm going to say it again. If we cannot buy land in another country, we do not sell our fucking land in America anymore to anybody. What are we doing? So we're going to clean up our streets. We're going to get out the illegals. We're going to do this. It's not being done correctly. We could go down a whole fucking rabbit hole. Nothing is being done exactly how I want it to be done. I think it's unjust and unfair. Always. That's the way this fucking country works. I don't know why. It's always unjust and unfair. But what are we doing? We're going to clear everything out and then we're going to sell off all our land to the people we just sent fucking back? Are we retarded? I think so as a country. Yes. This is crazy. We need to stop the sale of our land to other countries. Give them back their fucking money, even if it puts us further in debt. Tell them all to fuck off and take everything back that was ours and make it ours again. We are literally dismantling ourselves with everything that we do. This is crazy. I can't say it enough. I feel like I'm in a fucking time warp. Somewhere different. You know? It's crazy that we even talk about this. Hey, New Hampshire. Have you heard of the mailbox guys? We're right here at our brand new location at 17 Old Nashua Road in Amherst, New Hampshire. And we are revolutionizing the way that you think about mailboxes. Premium granite post mailboxes. Stunning granite stone light fixtures. Wood, metal, and vinyl mailboxes. You name it, we've got it. And hey, we don't just stop at mailboxes. We do fencing too. Wood fencing, chain link, vinyl, metal. If it goes into the ground, we make it happen. Here's what sets us apart. We don't just install, we repair. We re-drill granite. We replace brackets. And we bring your old mailboxes back to life. Nobody else does it like we do. So if you want your home to stand out, if you want quality that lasts, and service that blows the competition away, come and see the Mailbox Guys. We're at 17 Old Nashua Road, Amherst, New Hampshire, 03031. Or you can give us a phone call, 617-701-7589. And you can always find us on Facebook. All right, link is in the description below the video. Hire the Mailbox Guys today. Look, everybody, I just want you to know that over 145 five-star reviews with over 3,000 followers can't be wrong. So, hire us today and change your curb appeal forever. Now, TikTok videos detail mental health struggle of New Hampshire's mom before triple murder suicide. Guys, girls, people, just because it's not getting clicks and it's not getting out there, I don't, if the evidence was clear that this lady was completely unraveling, this is really sad. It's really sad because it didn't get clicks. This lady ended up, I believe, killing her husband, herself, and her 2 kids. It's crazy. Let's check this out, man. Wow. This is a crazy episode this week, I'm telling you, everybody. At least I feel crazy.
It's tragic.
Tragic, heartbreaking, unimaginable, and most of all, sad.
It's just a sad, sad thing.
Words that describe how people feel following the murder-suicide of the Long family inside their Madbury home on Monday.
Is certainly a shock, that's obvious, and saddened and coming together to support each other as it goes forward.
The Attorney General's office says Emily Long shot and killed her husband and 2 children. Over the last few weeks, she had been very open on social media, specifically TikTok, sharing videos talking about her husband's struggle with brain cancer.
My husband passed away from the same cancer, that brain cancer.
In her most recent post, Emily Long talked about taking steps to support her kids and her own health and well-being.
988 is available 24/7.
Mental health experts say it's always important to have a conversation with someone you suspect is struggling.
You want to ask directly what's going on, how they're feeling, and ask directly if they're thinking about harming themselves. The reality is you're not going to give someone the idea, but you may have a real opportunity to help them access crisis care.
Look, man, that's crazy. But it didn't get any clicks, right? No clicks, no traffic. You want to know what I blame? 5 hashtags. What's up with that fucking TikTok? You suck. You used to be able to do unlimited hashtags. Now you can only, I think I got told I was only allowed to do 7. And now you're only allowed to do 5. So you have limited the amount of people that we can reach on a daily basis. This lady is sliding down the mental health into this craziness. It was evident for weeks, maybe a month, longer. Didn't get enough clicks. No one paid attention. She kills her husband and her 2 kids. This is the world we live in. If you're not getting enough, no one's paying attention to you. If you're not getting enough clicks, no one's paying attention to you. I don't understand why you would kill your husband and then kill your 2 kids and then kill yourself because your husband has brain cancer. I would love to see some of those videos because, I mean, I don't really go through social media. I post and ghost, and I try not to be on there very long at all. It's very toxic all the time. And this is just really sad. This is really sad. How do we bring this out in the feed? I think things like this, they don't need to be promoted, but they should be flagged. It should be noticed. And if it's not going to be noticed by us, instead of these goddamn companies, right, searching for misinformation and disinformation and all the things that could really hurt us, they should probably be looking for mental health. You're going to tell me they can't put it into their algorithms to search for these types of videos, to search for the people that may go and shoot up a school? Maybe we need to change what we're searching for within these social media platforms and stop worrying about whether or not I'm going to believe that there's a genocide happening or Israel is bad or, oh, maybe, you know what I mean? All the things that they are protecting us from. But yet, their algorithm cannot figure out the next school shooter or somebody else who's sliding down a dark path and possibly going to kill their entire family. We're just going to let that happen. Isn't that enough to make you question what is really important to them? It makes me realize that this is exactly what they want. Because if they can't take us out, we'll just take out each other and make it that much easier for all of them. I'm telling you, they can figure this out. They choose not to. So, how did this slip by? Where did this happen? This is crazy, everybody. Look at this. Large cooked shrimp from Walmart. More frozen shrimp has been recalled for possible radioactive contamination. Radioactive contamination, everybody. What? Look, I don't think it's safe to eat anything out of the ocean anymore. This recall happened about a week ago, I think now. So 3 weeks ago for everybody out there. It was in the frozen food section of Walmart. Recalled for radioactive. It is now gone much further. And I made a funny comment. Maybe they got it from Chernobyl. But let's be realistic about it. I know we want to imagine our oceans being this vast thing, right? We've only explored 10% of our oceans, which I think is up to 20% now. You don't think that the amount of pollution that has happened over the course of 100+ years since the industrial age has not affected our oceans to the extent that everything within it is polluted and toxic now? Are you crazy? Are you crazy? Do you think they're that vast that none of these leaks, these power plants that have failed, places like Chernobyl, you think that all stayed right where it was? You don't think the migration of all the whales and the sharks and the fish being full of metals and places that we can't even swim anymore because of bacterias, you don't think that now we're getting to a point where everything that comes out of our ocean is completely and absolutely contaminated? If you really believe that, I got a bridge to sell you. It's a really nice one, too. They just reconstructed it, and it's fucking sound and safe. It's right in Massachusetts. It's beautiful. I'm going to sell it to you for cheap money because you're crazy. You're a crazy person. Listen to this. This is wild, everybody. I really want to know, I want to know, man, where did they pull this shrimp from?
The FDA is warning shoppers about possible radioactive shrimp being sold at Walmart stores. So the agency advising customers not to eat, sell, or serve certain imported frozen shrimp from Indonesian distributor BMS Foods because they may be contaminated with cesium-137, which is radioactive. Now, the products sold under the Great Value brand with a best by date of March 2027 have been recalled, and the FDA recommends if you recently bought the affected shrimp, it should be thrown out immediately.
Wow. That's crazy. So it was Indonesia. All right, look. Well, I'm telling you right now, we may not have explored all of our oceans, but we have definitely polluted the fuck out of them. That is 100% true. It is just looking like there is nothing safe on this planet anymore. We have ruined everything. Water sources, land, soil, air, everything. Everything is either contaminated, changed, manipulated, or broken. We cannot sit here anymore and sit there and let them tell us that we are the problem. We're not the problem. We're only using what they supply us with. This is all a product of what they have given us. And we're just utilizing it, and they're using it against us every single day. They have broken the planet. They have polluted the planet. They have destroyed the planet. But yet the narrative is always, it's our fault. I don't think it's our fault. I don't think we had anything to do with this. Personally, as civilians. And I do believe that everything is way worse than they're trying to make it out to be. You should probably, I don't know, do we have like little things that can scan packages? Do we have ways to test our fish for metals and toxins? Because even though they're saying that we are depleting the oceans massively and there's not going to be any fish left in them, which a lot of people are like, that's crazy, we can't have that happen. Yes, we can. We can extinct shit. Absolutely. But now it's so toxic that you can't even eat it anymore. Or maybe you shouldn't. Or maybe you need to test it first. I don't know. But I'm not going to sit here and believe that it's my carbon footprint that's causing all this. I don't make radioactive shrimp. There's no way for me to do it. So, it's either all the atomic bombs you guys have been blowing up in the fucking ocean. Huh? What about those? Right? Or it's everything that you've already done to the planet that has fucked us. That's the true story. So this is the price of utopia, everybody. The price of utopia. A glimpse inside the new $400 billion U.S. city with futuristic cable cars and bizarre skyscrapers. It will be bigger than Manhattan. What? This is the future, everybody. This is the future. We will be in 15-minute cities, no transportation, no flying. They're going to get rid of flying, and you will have nothing and be happy in these wonderful, wonderful cities. Look at this fucking thing. I mean, this is $400 billion, man. Where are they getting this money from? I don't even have enough money to fix my basement, but yet we have enough money to build a fucking $400 billion city? Something is wrong here, everybody. We are getting fucked on the daily.
Telos means the highest purpose. It was a term coined by Aristotle. It's about individuals in society coming together to reach their fullest potential. The cities that have been built to date from scratch are more like real estate projects. They don't start with people at the center, because if you started with people at the center, you immediately would think, okay, what's the mission and what are the values? The mission of Tolosa is to create a more equitable and sustainable future. That's our North Star, and that'll never change. What we're trying to do is combine sort of the best of different cities in the world and bring it together. So if you think about Tolosa being as vibrant and diverse as a New York City, combined with efficiency, safety, and cleanliness of a city like Tokyo, combined with the social services, the sustainability, and the governance model of a city like Stockholm. We are going to be the most open, the most fair, and the most inclusive city in the world. If you really want to go after a moonshot, which I would consider the city to be, you have to start with a big, bold vision. You need to raise the required capital. You need to surround yourself with the very best people in the world. And if you get those three things right, you can achieve incredible, magical things. R.F.K, who's the founder of BIG, expressed an incredible passion for this project.
Tolosa, in my mind, sort of embodies the kind of social and environmental care of a kind of Scandinavian culture and the kind of freedom and opportunity of a more American culture.
You get a great firm with someone who basically is super passionate and wants to see this project come to fruition as much as we do. We're taking a stab at what we call equitism here. What if you can pay the same taxes that you pay today, but get the best social services of any country in the world? That's equitism. Testing this new model for society, and at the same time, you're also testing building a city from a clean slate. What would you do? How do you infuse technology in it? How do you build it more sustainable? How do you build a public transportation system that's more efficient? How do you build underground movement of waste and goods to keep the city more clean, more walkable? How do you test autonomous vehicles to keep it safer? If I can imagine the ideal state 30 years from now, I would want people to have a sense of pride in the city, because the city lives by a set of values that resonate with them. But the city's the most open, the most fair, the most inclusive city in the world, and that's what people feel when they're in the city.
Okay, everybody. So that's the CEO of Walmart. I do believe the ex-CEO of Walmart. I have talked about Tolosa before. This city, I had no idea was going to cost $400 billion. That's something that wasn't in the article I brought up when I found this, or when it was brought to my attention. Most of this stuff is brought to my attention, to be fair. But, I mean, the fact that he kept saying that it was going to be more inclusive and more this and more that has already got me thinking this is going to be a shit show. So, look, everybody, every idea, every fucking thing that we do today is always coming from a place of trying to help, trying to make things better, trying to make a better life for you and me. But we all know how this turns out in the end. They will cut corners. They will hire lower bidders. They will do the bare minimum to get the project done. They want all of us to come into this beautiful thing. And then it has its complications, it has its problems, and then they don't have enough money to fix it. Or they don't care to fix it. is this just going to be another city? Yes, it is just going to be another city with all of its complications and everything else. I do not believe that these things are going to benefit us, though. How could they benefit us? We've all seen the experiments with rats that are spread out and rats that are on top of each other. The rats that are spread out, mingle, whatever, they're fine. The rats on top of each other, man, it becomes kill or be killed. These cities are not going to be without their problems. They're going to be utopia at first. But if they are the most inclusive, right, which they cannot be, let's be real about that. You're going to tell me they're going to let in felons? You're going to tell me they're going to let in violent offenders, sex offenders? They're going to be so open to everybody. No, they're not. They're going to screen you. You're going to have to go through a check, and you will not be allowed in for X, Y, and Z. That's right. Oh, multiple DUIs. Oh, violent offender. You're not getting in. You rob a bank. You're not getting in. Did you touch children? You're not getting in. So, again, when they start spouting off this most inclusive, everybody's going to be able to come here, it's bullshit. It's always bullshit. They just want to make it sound better than it is. These cities are going to be no different. They are going to be prisons, everybody. You ever been to prison? You ever been to jail? You don't want to be there. I don't wish it upon anybody. That's what these are. These are not sustainable utopias that we are all going to be living in like some fucking fairy tale ending of a movie. This is going to be just the same, if not maybe worse than what we're already dealing with today. It really is. I just don't see any difference or anything ever changing for us. It's not going to change for us. You know who it is going to change for, though? Those 3 people you saw in that video. That's who is going to get better. That's who's going to strive from us moving into that city. Those 3. That's it. And 30 years from now, 2 of them will be dead. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. It's much easier to keep a secret when 2 out of 3 are dead. You know what I mean? So, terrifying infographic proves that only 10 companies control everything we eat or drink. What? What? Who are the 10? I'll show you. Look at this shit. PepsiCo, Nestle, Coca-Cola, Unilever, Danone, Mars, Mondelez, Associated British, Kellogg's, and General Mills. Those are the 10 major corporations that run everything that you eat in the aisles. Now, they are right. This is only important if you eat processed foods. But look at this, everybody. Look into this map. Take a look at the branches off of these things. The amount of shit that could be considered healthy-ish, whatever, are also falling into the categories of these big corporation names, which means stuff like Dasani water, stuff like, let me see if I can, Evian water. We got Extra Gum, Excel, Orbic gum. Look, man, these are things that are supposed to be relatively good for you, right? Cheerios, like, you know what I mean? Tropicana orange juice. Like, there are so many things within these products that you are just like, holy shit, they really have a stronghold on all of us, on all of these products, which is why I use the Yucca app. What was it? We were in the truck the other day. No truck talk this week, but we needed some water, right? We just finished the job, hot as hell. We stop, we get some water. I get a Smart Water. I don't mind Smart Water. It's probably not the healthiest water, but it's still a decent water. He got a Topo Chico, I believe it is. So I was like, oh, bud, I don't know if you know this, but Topo Chico is actually really bad for you. And he's like, what do you mean? It's water. And I go, yep. And I scanned it with the Yucca app. It got a poor 39 out of 100. And then I scanned my Polar Water, which is a blueberry mango flavor, 100 out of 100. Why? Because it's actually water with just a little bit of like flavorings, but no additives, no nothing. Use the Yucca app, everybody. It's out there for a reason. Scan your fucking products, please. Even when you think something's healthy for you, it's probably not. Now, you can obviously make that decision to eat that thing if you want to. I make that decision all the time. But 90% of my diet is good. 10% of my diet is shit. Sometimes I run into the 15, 20%. I'll be honest with you. I'm human. I like to eat some garbage sometimes. It makes me feel like I'm getting a big hug from my mom. You know what I mean? But 80-20 is not bad, especially when you're 80 on the good, 20 on the bad. The problem is that most people are flipped on that. It's 80% bad, 20% good. That's where you're going to run into a lot of issues. Be better about what you're putting into your body. Be smarter. Because at the end of the day, the only people you are helping by eating that garbage are the people on top and the people that don't want you on this planet anymore. So if you want to help them acquire what they're trying to accomplish, which is less of us, go right down those aisles and buy everything in those packages and have yourself a grand old time. Because that is what they want. So, this is wild, everybody. Wild. If this is remotely true, this is the craziest thing. Because, man, oh man, imagine this.
The purpose of the prohibition is so much more different than
what we were told.
Surface level, because we're thinking, oh, maybe America wanted everybody, like maybe there's a health crisis and they're like, you guys have to get rid of all the alcohol because it's ruining your brains and stuff, which it does. But they were talking about at the time, which I don't think you see this recorded in a lot of areas, people were using alcohol to fuel their cars and their homes. So they were using it as energy and they were creating their own alcohol. So basically everybody, it was a common practice to collect all your food scraps and ferment them in your home. And it was a completely renewable and easily attainable form of energy. And then they just banned it. They said you can't make it, you can't have it in your house. And they said it burns so cleanly, we wouldn't have any of the harmful environmental effects that we have today if we had continued this practice.
I've never heard that in my entire life.
Isn't that crazy?
That's wild. That gave me goosebumps.
It's crazy. I mean, obviously cars these days aren't manufactured in such a way that you could use it, but that's purposeful also.
That's actually not true. They're limited. It's called flex fuel.
Oh, really?
Ethanol is corn gas.
Oh, yeah.
But so they limit it.
Just pour a little bit of moonshine in there. Yeah, we'll get it going.
I mean, is it possible that even prohibition wasn't what they told us it was? I got goosebumps, everybody. I don't know if you can see them on the camera. I have fucking goosebumps. This is wild information, but I know. I don't have a PhD. I should fucking shut my mouth, right? Everything we've been told is a fucking lie. They didn't stop prohibition because they didn't want people getting fucking drunk. We found out it was fuel. That fucks up the oil industry, right? Their natural resource that's drying up, that we're eventually going to run out of. We're never going to run out of energy. We're just running out of ways to make it for free ourselves. As long as they can keep charging us for it and they can keep telling us that it's something that's eventually going to vanish, there you go. They can keep making their money. If they have completely designed everything to get as far away from what we once knew, they are taking us away from our telepathic ways to communicate. They are taking us away from the ways that we could have energy on this planet without destroying it. And there were ways for us to do things in a clean manner. None of that worked for them. And that's why we are where we are today. Not because of your carbon footprint and not because of mine. Because of their greed and their idea of this control over everybody. But I do believe it's mostly the money. But why do they need money? They could have had a world without money. They could have had they could have still been on top. And we could have all been healthier. But they just want everything. And their greed and their, what is the word I'm looking for here? It goes with greed. It's just unbelievable to me that this is the world that they want over a world that we could have had. I mean, I feel like we missed out. I feel like we got cheated. All right, so this keeps coming up. Rabbits with tentacles spotted in Colorado. Look, everybody, they're not fucking tentacles. It's so funny. I love it. All right, I will play this video because they're just like warts and shit. It's just a growth on the rabbit. But man, people were eating up this tentacle rabbit thing and no, but here you go.
It seems rabbits enjoy living in Fort Collins just as much as people. They're often spotted hopping through neighborhoods looking for grub. But some southeast Fort Collins neighbors noticed bunnies were cute. Wasn't exactly the word that came to mind. I snapped this photo of one of the rabbits I've seen with the growth. I also saw this photo posted on Reddit, also spotted in Fort Collins.
Like a scabbyish looking kind of growth over her face.
Looks like it was black quills or black toothpicks sticking out all around his mouth.
Susan Mansfield said she saw a different bunny with tentacles in her yard in recent years.
He had this same black stuff on him, and I thought he would die off during the winter, but he didn't. He came back a second year, and it grew.
Some,
yes, I have,
feel bad for our tiny neighbors.
If they have, something that we can help them with.
Colorado Parks and Wildlife confirms this is a virus that's not contagious to other animals like people's dogs, but they say leave this wildlife alone like you would with any of the neighborhood bunnies.
Yeah.
We thank you for watching.
No. Everybody. Oh, fucking A, dude. I'm sorry. I find this so funny. Oh, people are so stupid. They're so stupid. I'm sorry. We're fucking stupid, everybody. This is crazy. It's a wart. It's a wart. It's a growth. It's probably not even uncomfortable. Have you ever had a skin tag? Have you ever had a mole? Have you ever had a wart? Are they painful? Are they annoying? Yeah, they're annoying. But they're not going to kill you, right? So why would you ever think that this rabbit who had, a mole or whatever the fuck it is, a growth, think that it would die? It's probably not even uncomfortable until it gets to the point where it starts covering their eyes and mouth. That's probably the biggest problem that they run into. And if it's anything like those horns, I don't know if you've seen that, goats, deer, the horn comes out and then it curls. And if it gets too long, stabs them. They literally kill themselves with their own horn. And they have no control over it. It's just the way it grew. But this is just like a wart. That's all it is. And obviously, you don't touch the rabbits. They might have rabies or some other type of disease. It's wildlife. Leave it the fuck alone. And the reason that there's so many rabbits is because there's so many stupid people out there that for some reason, and I don't know what this is, but on Easter, you buy your kids a rabbit, and then what, a month down the road, the next holiday comes and you throw it out in the backyard. That's why we have so many rabbits. Stop buying your kids rabbits on Easter. Stop it. We have wild rabbits out there because of you dum-dums. It's the same reason there's so many snakes out there, and there's so many of this, and that lizard that ran away for fucking weeks. Stop letting your animals go free. If you don't want the animal, I'm sorry. You shouldn't have purchased it, or you have to take it out. But this is just something simplistic that is happening to the rabbits. It's just like, you know, any other skin type growth that happens. But again, stay away from the wild animals, you morons. Please. Jesus Christ. You're the same fucking people that probably aren't getting vaccinated for fucking, you know, I don't know, polio or any other fucking things. You know what I mean? You're the reason why we have the plague back. And now you're going to go out there and try to fucking help a rabbit with a skin growth that probably can't be cured. Kill the rabbit, everybody. They're just animals at the end of the day. And if they are suffering, let's end the suffering. Okay? Jesus Christ. All right, so I can't believe R.F.K. Jr. just said this about Anthony Fauci on live TV, everybody.
Tony Fauci made sure that none of those kids had guardians, which is illegal. And then he hid what he was doing from the boards. He took foster homes in 6 states and he turned them over to the pharmaceutical industry. He made sure that the people who were running those foster homes did not even have medical training. Most of them were immigrants who came from the Dominican Republic. They knew nothing about medicine or responsibilities, and they were sickened when they realized slowly what they were involved in doing to these children, that they were torturing these children. And you know, there's videos of these children, an old BBC documentary that will make you cry. I promise you cannot look at these without weeping. You know, one of these kids, a 12-year-old who's trying to protect the 8 years old, and he has a tube in his stomach. And he's telling them, you know, I tried to fight them, and this is what they do if you fight them. You can't fight them. You need to just take the drugs. And the kids didn't want to take them because the drugs were making them horribly sick. And Celia Farber, who's this amazing researcher who worked on this chapter for me and did a lot of the original research on it, she actually went up to Hawthorne, New York, to the Gates of Heaven Cemetery. She found the cemetery where Fauci was disposing of the corpses of these children who died in his illegal experiments. She found...
What? Dude, that was live. That's the high wire. I'm telling you, man, this guy was dark. And it's kind of sad because I will have to say that even though Dr. Drew makes an amazing platform for people that have been shunned, blacklisted, or shadow banned, stuff like that, he was saying to kind of listen to Fauci. And that was in the beginning. He is completely turned on him now. But this guy is just as bad as BG, isn't he? These are two terrible people. Could you imagine? I mean, this is just grotesque. Do B-52s hold as much fuel as they say? So this is a 60,000-gallon water tank for reference. They say the Boeing 747 carries 63,500 gallons of fuel. Where do they put it? I don't know exactly where this came from, but what are they trying to hide from us here? I don't understand. This is a 60,000 water tank for reference. They say that the Boeing 747 carries 63,500 gallons of fuel. Where do they put it? They only use kerosene when they take off and when they land. Why do you think planes always fly above 30,000 feet? Free energy. So, as you can see, if a Boeing 747 carries 63,500 gallons of fuel, and that is a 60,000-gallon water tank, what are we really talking about here? Is it possible that if you fly a plane at 30,000 feet, there is free energy there? And you really only need kerosene to take off and land. I don't know why they would be lying about the amount of fuel that they have on a plane, but it could have something to do with the simple fact that they have figured out how to keep a plane in the air with as little fuel as possible, and they just tell us that we have to pay for the fuel that's not even in the plane. This is how they get more money from us. This is how they up the charges on the baggage, how they up the charges on the seats, because you need to pay for the jet fuel. What jet fuel? There's not 63,500 gallons in a 747. So let's find out how much is exactly in these planes that we're flying in. Because I think once we figure that out, people are going to get really mad that they were paying for fuel that wasn't even on that plane. I think we pay for a lot of things that don't exist. They tell us this is the way it is. And we just go, okay, I guess I'm paying $75 for a bag now. Wait, why? Do you actually know that you're paying for fuel? Is there really that much fuel in the plane? I'm starting to think we're getting robbed, everybody. We're getting robbed all the time, left and right. So, call me a conspiracy theorist, but I am pretty sure this is not normal for the moon to glitch like this. Now, this is done by Matt Wallace. He recorded this from his balcony. Supposedly, this isn't doctored, but it is very interesting. And if it's real, this is fucking crazy, everybody. Look at this. Watch this right here. What? What? Watch it. And boop. What the fuck is that? You know what I'm telling you? I've seen a lot of crazy stuff. I've been looking at the sky more now than I ever had. That's a crazy glitch. But they're also saying that the moon is really a depiction and a reflection of the Earth. They also say that it's a space station. But we've also been to it. Nah, no way. What if it is a hologram? What if our original sun is behind the new sun. The moon is just a hologram or a reflection of Earth. And this entire time, we really are in something that we have no control over. I don't think we have control over much of anything anyways. I like to think that there is control that we have been taught, that we feel like we have, to make us feel like we are more than what we actually are, which is just this battery for this, I guess, matrix that we're in. But that, to me, is a very interesting thing to see, because stuff like this is popping up a lot. I did talk about electricity striking in two places at the same time, at the same place twice. And it's just, there's a lot of things happening and that are a little bit unexplainable. So how do we explain them? Right? We put some story in front of it, hoping that it explains what we were looking at, but I don't think it explains everything. What would cause the moon to glitch like that? Are we all just, I don't know, are we all just batteries in a matrix? I feel like we're getting closer to something here, but I'm not quite sure what it is. It's crazy to me, but what would make the moon glitch like that? And don't you dare try to tell me it was a camera thing. Maybe. I try to do that. I can't replicate that with my camera. I don't know how to take an image from here and go boop. In video, there's a cut. In picture, it would look different. Let's just say it was a solid picture, and I wanted to move that. I have to fill the void over here. Yeah, AI is pretty good. The Magic Eraser's pretty good. But if you zoom in, you can see the distorted pixels. So it's not that good. So, I don't know. But, supposedly, in 1848, the first photo of the forbidden fruit in the tree of knowledge was taken. And it's been in front of us this entire time. The tree of knowledge? No way. All right. Well, of course, as always, music isn't there. So you are looking at what, to me, at first, looked like, a match. I mean, if this is the tree of knowledge, where is the branches and all this shit that you normally see on a tree? Why does this thing look like it was extinguished from a fire and it's just kind of sitting in the middle of a field? I don't know. But this is supposedly the first picture of the tree of knowledge in 1848. Now, when I hit the play button, it's showing you the forbidden tree. Now, when I hit pause, look at the bottom of the tree. Only the tip is poking out, right? What does the bottom of that look like? So in 1848, the construction began. And then 1860 to 1865, construction was halted due to the Civil War. Prisoners of war were seen being led into the unfinished tower. Why would people be led into that thing? 1888, construction is complete. Do you see what I see? That looks like the Washington Monument, everybody. Oh, wait, it is! Visit the Washington Monument and listen closely. In 1910, the Washington Monument becomes a major tourist attraction. Well, that's interesting. 1910 to 1971, 20 individuals go missing while visiting the Washington Monument. The missing visitors are known as Washington absentees. So this is showing the tree with the forbidden fruit on it. It's a depiction from, it looks like, well, there's hieroglyphics, so that's Egyptian, supposed Egyptian. I don't believe in that either. I believe that they landed on that and acquired that information and learned that language. They did not invent it because there's something much older than them. But it looks hieroglyphic-y. So, is the tree of knowledge inside of the Washington Monument? I didn't see it. I went in the Washington Monument, and I'm not part of the missing. But, I mean, if you went inside the Washington Monument, shouldn't it be right inside there? Is it possible that they built the stairwell around it? So, therefore, it is in the middle? And we can just never see it? It doesn't grow? Why are we hanging on to it? Right? If it's a tree of knowledge, and we built the monument around it, but it looked dead. Man, I got so many questions right now. I'm like, so what am I supposed to do here? I really want to go back to the Washington Monument now. Why would people go missing because of the tree of knowledge? Does the tree of knowledge absorb us? Very interesting to me. I don't know much about it, but I am very curious for more information on that. Now, Jeffrey Epstein. Irrefutable facts about Jerry Epstein. Let's check it out because what? We want that list. So I'm going to stop it there, but as you can see, there are 3 more things that they're going to go through. You can check it out with the link. Look, man. There is a lot of corruption here. There is a lot to hide. And I'm sorry, it's not about the victims. It's not. They are hiding something much bigger. They do not want this out. They do not want us to ever get to the bottom of this because it would destroy all of them. And that's what I believe Epstein was doing. Not only was he making sure that his ass was covered, but if anything was to ever happen to him, I think it was a fucking, like, anybody else in this position, you should have like a full detonation of all information at this point. I don't know why these people don't. If I die, all of this comes out. That's the way it should be. That's what he should have done. And the fact that we're going to keep suppressing this until Trump is out of office is just such bullshit. I'm sorry. I don't think that everything right now is terrible, but hiding this from us, man, it makes it so much worse for you. So I would just come clean at this point. You're not protecting anybody. You're just making it much more difficult for yourself. Now, check this out. This mosquito here is fucking numbered, everybody. See it? Number 38. Okay? And that brings me into my next one right here. Look at this. This is News Nation. News Nation. Everybody.
A new mosquito-sized drone unveiled by a military university in China. A student there is saying this type of micro-robot is especially suitable for special missions, such as information reconnaissance. So what does this mean for the U.S.? And could this be used against our military? Joining me now is drone expert Adam Kyle. Adam, thank you so much for your time today. What do you think is most important to know about this tiny miniature technology?
Well, one thing is that it's been in development for a long time, and two is a lot of the technological capabilities aren't quite there yet in terms of warfare. Talking about flight time and tolerance to wind, everything isn't quite there yet.
Does the U.S., Adam, have anything equivalent?
Not necessarily that I'm privy to. We do have a system that's a little larger called the Black Hornet 4 that gets about 30 minutes of flight time, whereas the little helicopter, Mosquito-sized drone, I mean, I imagine it has to be connected to some type of power source with a wire or something right now. It's just too small.
Okay, so it is so small. How much more do you think this type of technology will evolve, can evolve? Can it get even smaller, possibly to a point of maybe being undetectable even by the human eye?
It's definitely possible. I mean, everything gets smaller and smaller, but the big limiting factor right now is just battery capacity. So innovations in battery technology and things like that are really the catalyst that has to happen to spring these type of devices forward to be able to be used widespread.
So do you think any type of like mini surveillance in the form of these mini drones is already happening here in the U.S.?
I wouldn't say I don't think so, but maybe I'm being naive. It's just really not feasible. I mean, for example, with this drone, you're talking about the person would have to already be there, essentially on site if they're monitoring someone in the building. So say it is a Chinese spy or something like that, they'd have to be there on the premises and launch this from, within 20 feet of the person they want to surveil.
What? Dude. So we don't have anything like that. It's too small. It probably is hooked up to a wire. Blah, 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 blah. Probably, right? What the fuck do you know, buddy? I don't think you know anything. China is our number one enemy. They are doing everything before us. That $6,000 fucking humanoid that they came out with destroys our humanoid. You know what I mean? The capabilities of it. It's being distributed as we speak right now. And this is 3 weeks in the future. So obviously when this comes out, I'm 3 weeks in the past, right? So you are at the point where they are ahead. They've been ahead. They will stay ahead. I don't think there's a cable that attaches to that. And I bet you they have a warehouse full of those fucking things right now where somebody's sitting there going like this and they're controlling thousands of them. This stuff is not unattainable. This stuff is not happening. And we as Americans love to believe that we are always ahead of everybody. I don't believe this to be true. I don't. I think we are as ahead as we make ourselves believe we are. But in actuality, we're not the furthest behind, but we're definitely more behind than we're letting us know. You know what I mean? And I don't think that this technology is as far behind as they're trying to tell me it is. Now, Adam Silver bans Brittney Griner for life. What happened, everybody? Look, I'm not saying that this is 100% true, but if she has been banned for this, and this is true, this is crazy. And again, explains everything that I already thought. So I apologize for already having this thought. It may upset you, but this is wild to me. Why was she banned?
Banned for life. The WNBA just erased its biggest star, Brittney Griner. The story they're selling? Leaked audio caught her rigging games, a massive corruption scandal. But that's not the real story. That's just the cover. The real bombshell is the one that could destroy the league. Insiders are now screaming that the WNBA knew Griner was biologically male and hid it for years to protect their brand and her dominance. The ban isn't about fair play. It's about silencing her before the biggest secret in sports history explodes. This isn't just a scandal. This is a cover-up that changes everything.
I mean, what are we talking about? What do you mean? So, Brittney Griner could be male? Dude, we have to look into this. We have to know. If this is remotely true, everybody, then I have to go back and say that I was wrong about Michelle Obama being able to stand next to female basketball players to prove she's not a man. Because if we already have men pretending to be women and playing in basketball, if this is true, then we can't do that. We can't prove Michelle Obama is a man by having her stand next to men. Have we gone so deep to hide someone's identity of what they are biologically to bring women's basketball to light? Do you think it's that far-fetched that they would do something like this? This is low-hanging fruit, buddy. This is low-hanging fruit, everybody. It's low-hanging fruit. This is going to destroy women's basketball. It's going to destroy it. But if you built it up off of this lie, then it's your fault it gets destroyed. Because you built everything on a lie. Just like everything we're dealing with today was built on lies. Lies that most people believe. Lies that most of us do not want to accept. But everything we know today is built on lies. It's all lies. And when we figure out the truth, women's basketball is going down. All right, I'm going to leave everybody with this. Are you ready? Yeti/Bigfoot body discovered at the Tibet and China border. Well, how convenient. Let's check it out. Look at this, everybody. Look at this. That's supposedly a Yeti body found. I mean, I'll let the footage run again. It's just showing you the torso, the little tiny legs, the fat fucking gigantic feet. It does look like what we've all thought a Yeti/Bigfoot would look like. But it took until almost 2026 to find them, and it was on the China-Tibet border. I don't know. It's too convenient. It's too convenient. Out of all the places, out of all the cameras and places in the world, nobody ever got this in America with any of the cameras that are in the woods. I mean, maybe it was the last of its breed, right? No. I don't know. I thought it was funny. I wanted to add it in. I really want to believe in Bigfoot, but this has me so skeptical, it's not even funny. But you let me know what you think about this, any of the things that we discuss about, and of course, today's episode, everybody, which I want to thank you for coming along on the ride. Like I said, this has been a crazy, crazy couple weeks. And this episode here, so much to dive into. Again, I just want to thank everybody for subscribing, right? Thank you so much for subscribing. I greatly appreciate you all. You're the reason I keep coming back week after week. If you're new, subscribe. You want to tell your story or be a guest? talkinwithtopher@gmail.com. Linktree is in the description below the video. Click it. Find everything TWT. And of course, don't forget about the mailbox, guys. Get your new granite post installed today. And then, of course, Cryptid and Kin. Go and check out all the apparel that he's making. It's absolutely amazing. Go check out the podcast. And of course, I hope everybody out there has an amazing Thursday. I hope you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, I will talk to you next week.